Good morning, everyone. I think if everyone could get inside and seated, we can go ahead and get started with our program for this morning. My name's Mindy Cady, and on behalf of Sheriff Garvey, Assistant Superintendent Kayleen, and the rest of our staff, we'd like to welcome you today to our 12th annual Reentry Breakfast. This is really an opportunity for us to celebrate what we started about 12 years ago, which was a collaboration between the Sheriff's Department, the Offices of Probation, our local and state police departments, parole, our local service community providers, the VA, so many agencies, AISS, WMCAC, Amherst Community Connections. As I look around the room, I see so many people that have been a really important part of what we've put together. We meet on the first Tuesday of every month, and on the first Tuesday of every month, we review the individuals who are leaving this facility in the next 30 days. As we review them, we get an opportunity to share, how have people done in treatment? Are they compliant? Are they not compliant? What are the kinds of things we've set up for them? What are the gaps that still exist? Is someone from CSO going to be available to do an intake for substance abuse treatment, or someone from ServiceNet, and we get all those kinds of things hashed out during that period in time. And this year is our 12th year of doing it, and it's grown annually. We hope you enjoy today. It's part of our celebration. And again, we want to welcome everyone. We do have we've got a change to the program today. Unfortunately, Commissioner Thomas Turco couldn't join us. However, Deputy Commissioner Tom Dickout is here, and Assistant Deputy Commissioner Chris Mitchell is going to give the keynote address today. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to our leader, Sheriff Garvey.
As you probably know, I'm about to retire. So I can really tell you what I think today. So if you've got earmuffs, it might be appropriate to put them on. Now, on a serious note, I want to welcome you as well. I want to thank all of you people in this room for all of your contributions to the reentry program and so many other things. And I think that our whole attitude here in Hampshire County has always been, together we stand, divided we fall. And reentry has really been the vehicle to bring us all together to address a serious issue of people being released from the House of Correction after serving time. You must realize that someone that's going back into society, it's important that they have some resources, such as a job, a place to live, some community support, so they don't fall into the category of re-entering this place. So the people who work on these projects deserve an awful lot of credit and a lot of appreciation from all of us. I can't tell you how hard the people work with some very, very difficult people sometimes to turn them around and get them out. And I have been blessed with just a terrific, outstanding staff that have really dedicated themselves to the philosophy that some wacko liberal like myself tries to operate under. But I've been able to do it only because of the fact that I've had a terrific staff. I take all the credit, and I should, because I deserve it all. Did you hear me out there? Yeah, see, did you see them all agreeing? Yeah. Thank God they don't have the microphone. They'd tell you really what it's all about. But also, reentry and this group has given us a great opportunity to do something else. We spend an awful lot of time making the district attorney look good. And that is a man-sized job. But really, thanks an awful lot. I want to say a special thanks to my girl, Laura, who last day here, that beautiful girl back there who has dedicated several years. She was hired right out of Aqua Vita Pizza over in Hadley, and came as a uniformed correctional officer, scared the hell out of all the inmates. We never had a problem. She'd threaten them, and turned in probably one of the most valuable case managers you could ever expect. We're going to miss you, Laura, and I cry every time I think about it, and I hate to stay up here with these large tears coming down my cheek. But to all of you, thank you very much for all you've done, and that's really the way I feel.
Thank you, Sheriff, and thanks to all our staff for helping not only make today possible, but for all the work that we all do regarding reentry. And to the Culinary Arts Department and Chef Wilson, thank you. You're going to hear a little bit now from two of the gentlemen who have gone through our step-down program through the transition house across the street. We call it Bridge to the Future. Both of these gentlemen have gone through our programs here inside, as well as the program at the bottom of the hill. So we'll start with Michael, right?
Yeah.
It's all yours, my friend.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm an inmate named Michael. I'm here by God's grace and God's mercy. I've been doing a lot of work on myself. I had a sponsor that used to tell me that the full fruit of a labor of love lives in the harvest, and that always comes in its right season. I thought it was kind of like a slick thing to say. It sounded kind of good to me. I didn't really know what he meant by that until a little bit later on down the road. And I'm going to translate that for you. It simply means that you reap what you sow. It all depends on what kind of seeds you're planting, so when it's harvest time, right, you can collect some good fruit. And I've been cultivating, that means to improve with work. I've been working on myself vigorously. I got here, wait a minute, first of all, I'm going a little bit too fast. I need to, I got an invitation. 3 ladies came down to the house, the Bridge to the Future, where I'm at, a couple of days ago, and they asked me, would I be willing to speak at this reentry program type of deal, and I told them, well, sure. There's nothing more I like doing than participating in my recovery in my own life today, so I said, sure, I'll do that. First, I thought I was in trouble when they showed up at the door. I was like, what did I do now, But, it's an opportunity, it's an invitation. I remember not too long ago, people were saying, whatever you do, don't invite Mr. Johnson. You know what I mean? Because he probably would be in your bathroom in the medicine cabinet looking for something to take, But I'm here to share, here to give you my experience, strength, and hope. I got here by way of Ludlow on December 18th, 2015. I spoke with, I believe it was Laura and Katie. They'd done an intake on me downstairs, I remember vividly. They said I've been chosen to go to this place called the South Side, the South Mods, right? Because of my substance abuse history. So I went there, stayed there a couple of months. They said I would be participating in groups. I would be asked to do certain things, chores, get up in the morning, physical education. I didn't really know what they were trying to do at the time. The seed was planted a long time ago, though, and I remember I went inside, I talked with Laura for a little while, and I said something slick like, I said, Laura, it says in the DSM-5 that addiction is a mental health issue, right? So I should qualify for Social Security when I get out. And she looked at me and said, Michael, you look physically able to work. To me, it don't look like there's anything wrong with you. I said, but addiction is a mental. She said, listen, man, when you gonna grow up? And I was like, no, she didn't, right? No, she did not say that to me. She said, how old are you? I said, 53. She said, when you gonna grow up? So I rushed up out of there. I couldn't wait to get out of her office. I ran out of there with my tail between my legs. I went back and I was licking my wounds, right? And that's when the seed was planted for me. I said to myself, it's time for me to maybe do something else and go about this thing a different kind of way. So I started participating in all these groups, and things started to happen. I started, Albert Einstein said a long time ago, nothing happens until something moves, right? So I had to move into action, and I hate moving. One of the things I hate more than anything else in the whole wide world is having to get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and go to the bathroom. I hate it because it's difficult for me to get back to sleep, but it needs to be done. And so with reentry, the same thing needs to be done. I'm incarcerated. At some point, I'm gonna be getting out, re-entering back into society, because I'm not doing a life sentence, I'm doing 9 months. So they got these things in order, things in place, and I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention some of the wonderful staff. The sheriff talked about the staff. To me, it's like a well-oiled machine, right? And if one of the things aren't working properly, we're gonna have some problems. So I'm gonna call out a few people, just to give them some acknowledgement. You got the job developer, job coordinator, Raphael, in the back. If you could just, that's Raphael right there. He worked hard with me, man. I remember working with Raphael and, trying to get a job, going to interviews and different things. And one of the first things he asked me was, do you know how to work a saw? I got this wood place, they work with wood, and he said, do you know how to work a saw? Excuse me. And I went into my spiel. I used to be a carpenter's helper, I build houses and this and that. He said, wait a minute, do you know how to work a saw? Right? I said, yeah, man, I know how to work a saw. So he started working with me, and we started doing some things, going to interviews, and I finally ended up with a job, and these people, you got a dynamite staff, Sheriff, dynamite staff, I don't know. I don't know what I would do without these folks. I got here December 18th by way of Ludlow, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna go on and share. People were telling me, you don't want to do your time in Ludlow, you want to go to Northampton, right? I said, well, why is this? They said they got dynamite food up there. They feed you really, really good, right? And so I got here December 18th. I went to the Southside Mods. I stayed there a couple of months working on myself. I've had to cognitively restructure my whole being, It was difficult. It was times when I didn't want to move. I didn't want to do anything. People were pushing me. You got Wanda over here. Could you raise your hand, Wanda? That's Wanda right there, right? Wanda is my homegirl, right? Wanda, she works hard with people, and I remember her working with these folks, right? Trying to provide services. They got a whole host of services. Community Correctional Center. They've got Elmo, the electronic monitoring system there. They got the Bridge to the Future. They got the minimum over here. They've got Vivitrol. They help you with mass help upon release, 30 days upon release. They help you with food stamps, the SNAP food stamp program. They also help you with Medicaid, mass rehabilitation. They got a whole host of things that's available, right? And so, if you just throw me back into society without some type of program or some type of work on myself, it's gonna be like you pouring some cold water on a plant. It's gonna shock me, right? Because I'm gonna get out and people gonna be working with, I'm gonna be like, what's that? And they're gonna say, this is a Galaxy S7 Edge. But when I got locked up, they still had flip phones. So, so I had to get up on top of things. I had to get with the schedule, and It's a process. It's a lengthy process. I went from the mods. I got classified and I got some credentials. You know, I'm a certified alcohol and drug addictions counselor. So when I got classified, Barbara said, well, why do you need our services? You already know everything, right? I said, wait a minute, hold up. No, I don't know everything. I heard you got a dynamite program over at the minimum housing facility. I have to get in touch with prayer and meditation because that's what I do on a regular basis. I really can't do that over in the Southside Mods. They gave me a 3-0 vote, and I was like, yes. She said, don't get too happy. It's just a recommendation, man. You know, and so I was on my way to the minimum. I stayed there 60 days. I invested in that program. We get chaperoned out to AA meetings, NA meetings. Sponsorship is a vital part of my program. I remember one day I was talking outside the Mini Katie, right? And they asked us to be involved in this. They had a movie, and they had a filmmaker coming up from Brooklyn, New York. Excuse me. And I was invited to that. It was very special, near and dear to my heart. They also had another thing going on downtown at the Academy of Music called Young at Heart, right? This is all about reentry. It's getting back in the community, brushing shoulders with people, preparing myself for when I get out. I didn't have to do this. I could have stayed over in the house block, right? With just do my time and just get out. But they got this wonderful thing called incentives, right? You can earn up to 10 days a month good time while you're here, Michael, and blah, 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 right? I said, that sounds really good to me. I'll do that, right? Because it's about me getting back out. I don't want to be here forever. And so these incentives, you know, it was a good thing for me. And so I kept going. The wheels were turning. Like I said, the seed was planted, so I kept moving right along. I got classified again, and they moved me down to the Bridge to the Future, where there I worked with Raphael and became gainfully employed, working, doing my due diligence. Where's Katie at? Is Katie here? Katie, right? I need to talk about Katie for a minute, too. I remember Katie doing this thing on me, right, called a biosocial site, right? And the seed hadn't yet been planted. All I could remember is just wanting to get out of this room. So she said to me, does anybody in your family suffer from high blood pressure, diabetes, this and that? And I just kept going, no, 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 right? Because I just wanted to get out of that place, but it's about being honest. Because down the road, what if something came up and they needed to know about this information, and I just told them no. You know? I had some difficulties with my back. I wasn't forthcoming with Raphael all the way. He asked me, you know, these people do a good job. Your staff does a good job. They're thorough in what they do. He said, Michael, before we embark on this employment, is there anything, right, anything that will prevent you from performing these tasks at the job? I said no. And I didn't tell him about this titanium rods, cages, and screws that I had in my back. I didn't think it was going to prevent me, right, or get in the way of my performance at the job, but I'm not a spring chicken no more, man. I'm 55 years old. Things started catching up with me, and it was difficult to perform everyday tasks on the job. I started carrying around this icy hot patch thing and rubbing it on me all the time, and I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to be like Barry Bonds and hit it out of the park every time, right? But I got to step up to the plate and swing the bat. One thing I know for sure, right? If I don't take a swing, I'm going to be automatically out. But if I just get up and swing, right? Just swing. I've done my part, man. So I'm here and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I became a responsible, productive member of society to the best of my ability, right? You are an inspirational bunch of people. You've helped me tremendously. Speaking of inspiration, I'm gonna tell you a little story, right? And then I'm gonna shut it down. There was this, back in the day, there was this slave ship, right? Coming over to the Americas. And, you know, they was coming over, and you had the first mate and the captain and all of them, the crew. And they had a bunch of slaves on the bottom of the ship. And he had this, one of the slaves, this black woman, he called her his belly warmer, right? That's what he called her, and she done menial tasks. She cleaned up the remnants of the food from the tables, had sex with him when he wanted, and all of that type of stuff. So one day, she was down there, after she cleared the remnants of the food off of the tables, she was down in the gallows where the slaves were locked in, and she was feeding them some of the remnants of the food, and the first mate saw her, and he raped her, beat her up real bad, punched her down, right? Really, really bad. So the next day when the captain saw her, he said, "What happened to you?" And she didn't say anything. He said, "What happened to you?" She wouldn't say anything. And one of the other gentlemen said, "It was the first mate, Captain." He summoned him up to his quarters. He said, what's up with this? He said, "I done it, Captain. What do you want me to do, swab the deck or something like that, right?" He said, "Oh, no, I don't want you to swab the deck. We need you to get locked down in the gallows with the rest of the slaves, right?" Well, they locked them in the gallows. So this lady continued doing what she was doing on a regular basis, getting the food, clearing the remnants. And when she would go down and feed the slaves at night, she would have to walk by this guy that violated her in that way, right? And she would give him some of the remnants of the food. Every night, give him some. And this guy was inspired so by what she done, right? It inspired him to write the tune, "Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound I saved a poor wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see." I'm an addict named Mike. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Mike. I'm gonna hand it over to Bill for a couple minutes, okay?
Hey everyone, my name's Bill. I'm nervous, so bear with me. I don't like talking in front of big crowds, but first I'd like to thank Sheriff Garvey for inviting me back here to do this, and I'd like to thank Raphael. He actually came by my employment place yesterday and asked me if I'd be willing to come back, so thank you. I did 9 months here last year. I got out at the beginning of this year. When I came in, I was broken, I was a hurt person, and I didn't want help. I didn't want to hear what these people had to say. My mind frame was that they were only here for a paycheck, that they didn't really care. And as my time moved on throughout this facility, like my perspective changed on that. Like I was able to learn so much about myself in this place. I've been a frequent flyer throughout the institutions since I was 17, and I've never been able to maintain a productive time out in society. And this is probably the first time where I've actually lasted out there this long, and I owe so much to this facility because they've shown me this, and they've given me the tools that I've been using to do this. When I came in, I started up in the mods, and like I said, I didn't want the help, so I was trying to fight the system, and I found out that got me nowhere pretty quick. I figured because I've been here so many times, I'd be able to sit back, do what I usually do, and just skate through this bid, and that the officers and the staff wouldn't care. But little to my surprise, they were sick of seeing me here. So it didn't really work out quite the way I was hoping it would. I was pretty much forced at first into the groups and stuff, and like I said, I just didn't want to do it, and I ended up getting myself into some trouble where I went to segregation, and at that point I had some time to actually think about things. And when I got out, that's when I slowly was opening up a little about actually giving it an honest try. And I moved through the facility. I went over to the north side, which is more structured with treatment programs and stuff. And I ended up going for parole, and I was granted parole. And after that, I was given the opportunity to go to minimum. I never left on parole though. I wrapped up. I went to minimum, and there was still a part of me that was hesitant about change. And it took quite a bit for the staff to probably finally break through to like get my attention. And there was this one lady that said something to me that really made me think, and she told me, she's like, when you get out there, if you continue doing what you're gonna do, you're gonna die. And that scared the crap out of me. Like, I went back to my room and I really thought about it, and I was like, I knew that's not what I wanted. I'm only 27. I didn't want to die, not yet. And so I stayed in my room for a little while, and I really like meditated on that and thought about it. And at first I sort of took it the wrong way, the way she said it to me. And I thought she was just telling me I was just gonna go out and die. But then I realized what she was telling me, and it made me open my eyes and like really start moving towards what I wanted out of life. As I was getting shorter on my sentence, there were so many things that this jail offered me. I was able to get involved with CSO, which I continue doing. I go there twice a week for counseling. I meet with a therapist, meet with the guy that comes here for the reintegration. There's a program called Vivitrol that's an opiate blocker, which I got involved with. I got involved with it before I got out. I still continue to do that. And I struggled with drugs and alcohol since I was really young. That's how I masked a lot of my feelings and emotions. I didn't know how to deal with them, so that's where I turned. And that's not how I do it anymore. Like I deal with it straight up. I open up to people, I reach out, I ask for help, and I talk about it instead of bottling it all in. And that was the worst part about it, was I was the type of person that would isolate and hold everything in and not talk about it. This place taught me how to trust other people and be able to talk to them. And they showed me that people actually do care about me, which for me, I was kind of shocked. I didn't think anyone really did after the way I was. And it was to the point where no one wanted me around when I was out there. People were calling the cops just to get rid of me. And my life was hectic. And it's not like that anymore. I was able to go through so many programs here, graduate different ones. And the biggest thing they helped me with was they got me involved with the 12-step programs. And I started that when I was in the minimum security. And I continued it when I went down to Bridge to the Future after I was employed. And I still continue to do that every day. I was actually talking to a friend yesterday about this. I told him, I was like, I really don't know how to address it. I was like, I don't want to put it out there. He's like, well, all you got to do is say 12-step program. It doesn't matter what it is. And it's something that helps me stay straight today and continue to be a productive member in society. When I got out, I had one problem. I didn't have a license, so I had no way to get around. And the day I left, I had a wad of cash in my pocket, and I had two choices. Either I could go get high, or I could try to actually put my plan into action and ask for help. And when I heard from this person about this program that helps people when they first get out of incarcerations called Bridging the Gap. Some of the counselors here didn't know about it, so it took me a while to get the number. But the minute I got released, I called that number and I explained my situation. And at first, because of where I live out in the sticks, so there's no one really out there. it took them a couple days to try to get me the help that I needed, the transportation and stuff. And just as I was feeling that self of hopelessness was coming back, I got a phone call, and it was one of the guys asking me if I wanted a ride, if I'd like to go to a meeting that night. And that was something I was able to pass back to the jail about that program, Bridging the Gap. And I found that to be really beneficial for me. I was able to meet so many people in the community that are actually doing the right things, that have been where I've been, and that continue to move forward in life. And I've got such a huge support network today. It's like, if I'm having a bad day, I could call someone up and they're there to talk to me. Like, it doesn't matter what they're doing, they'll stop and take a few minutes out of their time to talk to me. And that's huge. That's something I never wanted to do. I never wanted to share my feelings with another person. I just wanted to deal with them my way. And it never worked. It always landed me back here in jail. I'm really lucky I never died, because it came pretty close. I've been to many institutions all around Western Mass, and I gotta say, by far this is the best institution with the reintegration. The staff here, they're really supportive. They worked with me, though I was a knucklehead, I'm sure. They pretty much laid everything out for me, but what it came down to was if I really wanted it. And I had to put the work in to get it. And when I was leaving, I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I thought it was gonna be easy, and I was in for a surprise, because I got out and it was really hard. And there's been times where I've wanted to give up and go back to my old habits, but I don't. It's like, I've got people I could fall back on and talk to. I've got people that are there for me, that encourage me every day to do better. I meet with my therapist every week. Past few weeks, I've been really able to get honest with her and like open up more. And it's like talking about my feelings instead of like masking them helps so much better. The Vivitrol, I do that every month. It's every 28 days, 1 injection. Requires therapy along with it. I go there. I go in every week, actually. I see a therapist there. I give them drug screens, and they're all clean. Like, I've never been able to give a clean urine screen before, and that's something huge. I've also, through CSO, I was able to start a Nurturing Fathers program, which I just started a couple weeks ago. I do that every week, once a week. Continue. They help me get back and forth. They give me bus passes. Then there's, what was it? Trying to think. There's other places I've gone. There's ServiceNet. They've helped me look for housing. They pointed me in the direction of where I'd have to go. And like, they've really showed me the way to go about it in the right way instead of having to do it the wrong way. It's funny because just the other day I was talking to my mom, and she was in the hospital, and I called her and I was apologizing because I couldn't make it. And she's like, the best gift you've given me is staying clean. And she's like, I'm really proud of you. And that really touched me, because it was to the point to where my family wanted nothing to do with me at one point. And for her to say that, it was huge. And though I wish I could have been there, I couldn't, but I'm still giving her something that she's always wanted, and that's for me to be clean and doing right. And she could go to bed tonight without having to worry about me, worrying where I am, if I'm dead in an alley or what, or if I'm back in jail. I have a healthy relationship with quite a bit of my family members. I talk to them on a daily basis. Some of them I can't talk to because they're still active with their addictions and stuff, but the most I could do is pray for them. I've offered the help I could help, offered the help I could offer for them, but that's the most I could do. I can't. I wish I could do more, but all I could do is tell them from my experience and tell them what's out there. And I just owe this place so much gratitude. I'm so grateful that I was able to come through this. And I see Raphael almost every week. He comes by my job, checking on the other inmates that are there, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to, and just being able to have that conversation helps sometimes. And like when I left here, there were staff members that gave me their card, told me anytime I could call back if I was struggling or if I needed help. And I do that. I still call back here once in a while when I need help with something. And they're here for me. Like, they don't, once you go out that door, they don't turn their back on you. They're still there to help you any way they possibly can. And that really surprised me, because I've been to numerous jails that say that, and once you're out, they never return your calls if you call them back. And I was just really surprised with the way the staff is here, the way they treated me. Like, they could have treated me differently, but they didn't. They treated me fairly. And I was so surprised and like intrigued by the way they did that. And like, to be quite honest, when I first came in, like I said, I thought they were just here for a paycheck. Some of them were still in school and stuff, and I was like, I can only think to myself, wow, they're in school, they haven't been where I've been, they don't know what I've gone through. And I was sort of on a pity potty and stuff, so it took a while, but after really getting to know these individuals, I was really glad I was able to meet them and cross paths with them, because in a way they gave me knowledge of what to do. And like, they sort of laid out a path for me, but it was my actions I had to go through. It's like I could have a plan, but a plan's no good without actions. And I had a plan, and they supplied all the material I needed, all the information. And at the end, it was up to me if I took that step and moved forward with it. And I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to say I'm truly grateful to be here. I'd like to thank all the Hampshire County Sheriff's Department. Thank you.
Thank you both. It was great. Thanks for sharing your experiences. And it takes a whole community, and the entire community is out here. It's not just us, it's everyone's contributions. And we have a great relationship with our district attorney's office. And so with that, I'm going to invite our district attorney, Dave Sullivan.
Thank you. It's nice to be here this morning. I just want to take a moment to thank Michael and Bill. Thanks for sharing your stories of success. It means a lot to us. And that's what all these people in the room are here for, is to see you be successful. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the hard work that you did, and I'm proud of the staff that the sheriff has here that works with people. So thank you so much. Before I had a chance to get breakfast, I had a chance to talk briefly with Bill and Michael. And I asked them what they were doing, and they were so proud that they were out working for October Company Adhesives. But they're even more proud of being fathers. And I talked a little bit about each of their stories, and they have children. And just remember, when you leave here, the best job, the most important job you'll ever have is being a good father. So thanks for being back with your kids and being a good father. And whenever you have a doubt, when you ever think of that one day at a time, open up the wallet and look at your kids, and that'll help you more than anything in the world. So I wish you the best, and I welcome you to my hometown of East Hampton. You're working there every day. I want you to go downtown. I want you to shop at the Big E. I want you to take care of my community by spending all your hard-earned dollars there. So thank you. I've always referred to the Hampshire House of Correction, otherwise known as the Hampshire HOC, as the Hampshire House of Change. And I really mean that. what this place is about change. And I always take HOC, and I take those 3 initials, and I say the H stands for hope and healing. Because that's what we're here for, is to heal the human spirit and to give that hope and that look forward that life can be different, and how much you can change when people respect you and love you. And that's what this staff does. And it starts from the top. It starts with the good father, and that's Bob Garvey. He treats his staff and every person who's here, from the inmates down to the people in transportation and maintenance, like family. And that's what changes lives. And I want to thank Bob for all the work that you've done to make this the caring, compassionate, tough love place. Michael, they weren't going to buy your act. That's what makes the difference. And the O is for opportunity. For 14 years, I was a defense attorney, and I unfortunately had clients that would go to jail here. But I knew that they had the opportunity to change. It is the last resort, but sometimes it's the best choice, because people have that chance where people can help them regain their lives. So that opportunity here is incredible. And change happens every day here. The beautiful murals, the Fatherhood Project that Kathy Callahan leads, all the programs that Michael and Bill have talked about here today, they don't just appear out of thin air. They came from so much hard work. Pat Kaline, all the folks that are here that have supported the sheriff throughout the years. He's built an incredible team. And that team is going to go for a long time. But unfortunately, the good father, when I wasn't looking, went to the parole board. And after 30 years, I understand that he'll be paroled December 31st, 2016. And I want to say, because this will be the last official breakfast, but hopefully you'll be here for many years to come, that we love you, Bob, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thanks for sharing those sentiments we all share. We have another speaker today, and like I said, when we came in, we had a little bit of a change to the program. And so I'd like to introduce the Assistant Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Corrections, Chris Mitchell.
Thank you. On behalf of Commissioner Turco, I would like to thank Sheriff Garvey for his leadership, support, and friendship of the Mass Department of Correction for the past 35 years. Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Thank you.
As I look out the room today, it looks like an all-star team of reentry people. From Suffolk, we have Truciala, Mindy, Jen Sordi out of Hamden, and our own Claire Corsini, and I'm sure I've missed people. But one thing I can guarantee you, we have amongst us a first ballot Hall of Famer in Sheriff Garvey. And I want to recognize his leadership as well in paving the way for reentry for all of us. So once again, thank you. Reentry. I've been in the department for 27 years, 28 years, and I always look back on motivation. Why did I choose this path? Why do you choose this path? And I think about, am I here to make a lot of money? No. Am I here to make a lot of friends? Especially in the early days? No. And what I come back to is, I wanted to make a difference. And as I look at this room, I think that's the one common thread of our motivation. For whatever reason, for whatever pathway our lives took, we came to this place where we had this driving motivation of wanting to make a difference over all other things. And to do this type of work You can't learn it alone in a textbook. You can't teach sincerity. And I'm sure most of us, if we wanted to, could opt into other fields that pay much more money, but we keep coming back to that same place. I want to make a difference. And to listen to Michael and Bill talk, we don't always get a chance to see people who have applied something and used their own motivation to go out and be successful. And I thank you for coming today and speaking to us to feed that nurturing piece of what I need to keep doing what I do. So thank you too as well. Many years ago, we fumbled through what we called back then, I think, reintegration, discharge planning, and it was for the white hats. It was for the people who didn't know any better, and we were just trying to figure out which end was up. And there was that article back in '72. Anyone remember it? Anyone know who Martinson is? Nothing works. Right?
Right.
Nothing works. And I was entering a field of which nothing worked, so no one paid attention to me, which was pretty good. Because what I remember is all of the social scientists across the country, across Canada, said, damn it, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know it works. And Paul Gendreau, Don Andrews, and his folks said, it does work, and this is how you do it. And what we've been doing as an industry for the last 30 years is applying the science in a way that demonstrates it does work. And we can change lives, and we can make a difference. I know it works just anecdotally, but I can't walk into a room of policymakers and say, you know what, I get this intuition, Sheriff. I have this sense that if we do this, we can make a difference and save a lot of money. I get data to back it up. We looked at a one-year cohort of releases from the Department of Correction to the step down, and we saw that the recidivism rate for a state inmate after 1 year is 13%. When we step them down to you guys, 8%. Okay, you do it better than us, all right? Part of that is because you are in the geographical region in which the offender is going to release, and that you can pull in all of the rich resources of your own community to start to step people down before they even get out of prison. That's our biggest disadvantage. So I can now look at data and say it does work. And guess what's happening on a national level? The criminal justice system has become so expensive, it's being crushed by its very cost. So all of a sudden, we're now the bright guys. Reentry works. It saves money. And I think the landscape is shifting to a system that says responsible reentry is a good public safety. I think we knew that a long time ago. So I'll just end by once again thanking Sheriff Garvey, thanking all of you, and know that each day you come to work in your own way, you are making a difference. Thank you very much.
Thanks. For those of you who might not know, we've had a long-standing, very positive relationship with the Department of Correction and stepping inmates down through here. So we're thrilled to have you all with us today. So thanks for joining us. With that, I'm going to invite Nancy Foley up here, and she's going to say a few words about this year's recipient of the Tom Foley Award.
Thank you all. Today is a wonderful day for me because everybody is remembering Tom at this moment, and that is such a gift because none of us want to be forgotten. And I thank the sheriff because 3 years ago when Tom passed away, he started this award in Tom's memory. And I think it's a testament to the special bond that the two of you had and the great respect that you had for each other. So thank you from my family and myself for carrying on Tom's memory. This year's award, I'm so happy to present to Robert Ryan. the Chief of the Eastern Hampshire District Court Probation Department. I apologized to Bob because we didn't invite Bob to the meeting this year. We did have a meeting, Bob. But you didn't get the invitation. So we told you a little white lie, and I apologize for that. But Bob has been a longtime member of the Reentry program and has certainly contributed so much knowledge to that program, and has been a special part of the success that this program has had. And I know personally Tom thought the world of Bob, and so don't so many other people in this room. And so I'm so honored to present this award to Bob. And as honored and surprised, I hope, but I think by looking at your face you are surprised, Bob. As honored as you are to receive this award, I know that if Tom were here today, he would be the one that would be honored to have his name associated with your name, because he thought the world of you and all that you have done for between the federal courts, the state courts, and here at the House of Correction. So it's a special day, it's a special award, and you're a special friend and a special person. So come on up, Bob. I'm sorry, wait a minute, Bob. Here's the 2016 Thomas Foley Reentry Award.
Well, that meeting you referred to isn't the first meeting I haven't been invited to. There's a lot of things I haven't been invited to. And to say I'm surprised is certainly an understatement. I too remember Tom all the time, especially on the Tuesdays when we come up here for the reentry meetings. You know, many of you probably know, but some may not, that Tom was one of the originators of the reentry meeting. When I came here to Hampshire County, he talked about the meetings that he went to, the value that the meetings had, and urged me to go, which I was anxious to do. I often would pick him up on the way up in outside the courthouse in Northampton, and we had some great conversations. We solved very few problems as we talked, but we thought we were making headway in different areas. But anybody who knows, who knew Tom, knew what a special guy he was, and knew the very close relationship he had with the sheriff and really everyone else here at the House of Correction. It's been discussed today or talked about today about the special staff that's here, and I'm able to see each Tuesday, the first Tuesday every month, how special the people are here. I think the Michael and Bill who talked today are an example of the work that's done here. I think one of the impressive things that I see month in and month out is how, regardless of what a person's past is here, and some of the people here have a pretty checkered past, and if you just went by that, you'd say, well, this person has very little opportunity or chance to change their lives. And I think for those of us who've been in this business for a long time, it's easy to slip into that kind of a mindset that, yeah, we'll go through the motions maybe, but not much is going to happen. But what's impressive to me is each month that I come here, I see that people aren't viewed by what they've done in the past. They're given an opportunity to take advantage of the programs. The staff here is enthusiastic. They're not going through the motions. They really want to help the people here and provide them, regardless of whether someone else might say it's a long shot or not. So that is a culture that has been instilled by the sheriff and all the way down, from the people that greet you as you walk in the door to the security people here, and to those that are working in programming to help the inmates. So enough of this talk from me. I am honored to have my name on the same plaque as Tom's. I thank Nancy, who's been great all these years and has shown a lot of courage and fortitude since we lost our dear friend and her husband. So thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, and very, very well deserved. I do have a couple of closing remarks, and for starters, thank you very much to Chef Nelson and our entire culinary arts program and our staff here. We've heard it a few times today. This is a team thing here. No one works in a vacuum. No one does this alone. I may sit down and talk with somebody, but someone else has made sure that the budget is in place so that the information that he needs is in the book that I need to give to him, or this is a team thing here. No one does this alone. And one of the things that I'd like to say, and I know it's going to probably tick you off, but we want to say thank you to a very, very, very special man who has made not only us having a reentry roundtable possible. 12-something years ago, he said, we've got to work on communication. If we communicate amongst ourselves better, we're certainly going to give guys a leg up in terms of preparing to leave here. And, so for that reason, this really has been a house of opportunity for the men who pass through these doors, and we're all really fortunate to be able to do this work. And professionally, this man has also given many of us the professional gift of a lifetime. And for that, we want to thank Sheriff Garvey, and we have a special award for you from our roundtable.
A couple of people saying, when the hell are we getting out of here? But again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for years and years of support. And I'll tell you, I will certainly miss the opportunity to work with you, but you've still got 6 months to put up with me. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.